Yeah.
They're like,
So
you
somebody
can do
somebody
what we tell
did
you.
one, and apparently it's supposed to be like, if you sending it to CGC, it's supposed to be like a custom. What's that purple label?
Yeah.
And it's not. They're
It's
coming
not.
back
It's
blue
blue
labels.
Well, remember with that girl? Did you see that post? So she went on the CGC census, and she found out that they got another 10 for the Ghost Rider. Bro. For the Ghost Rider, and another 10 for the Deadpool,
Well,
and
they're
three
exclusives.
9.9s for those acetate covers.
But the thing is that the comic can be a 10 or a 9. Let's look at the comic. Is it? Maybe it's a 10. Because I remember from back in the day, the big thing was the Grim Fairy Tales covers. Remember, Clinton even got one. You just go through and you pick out the 10.
Yeah, but how could it be a 10 if you're putting a hole in it?
That's different. Like it could still be a 10, but it would have to come back qualified or restored because it was touched, right? Like, it's not how the book was actually produced. Having said that, could it have sharp corners and be on center and the staples be new and look bright and the pages be bright? Sure. It could be gem mint, I believe. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it could be a 10 or a 9.
The rarity of a 10, though.
I mean, again,
That
if you look at...
you get one for every book, that's a little suspect.
I don't think so. If you look at, like I said, the old Zenoscope books in particular, I'm not saying it wasn't happening then, but it's just the way they were printed and the way that they're presented. When you look at them, you're like, oh, like that's a gem mint copy, right? So look those books up and let's look at those books.
Well, that's the difference is that those books came like that. I think what Franklin's trying to say is that they went in and put 2 more staples.
Which that's what I'm saying. We're right there.
Yeah.
It should be getting a qualified label because it is not how the book was produced, right? Like
Exactly.
It wasn't, and Marvel was not aware of that, you know. But like we got back a 10.0 that Ryan Brown drew all over, right? He drew all over it. He signed his name, but the corners are sharp. The pages are bright. It's on center. Like everything else that would give it a 10, gave it a 10, right? But he still put ink all over it.
Yeah.
You know, he customized it, but it's a 10. We have it, so.
You have it here?
I don't because I let Albert get it because he's got the what you call it. Like Ryan designed Albert's logo, so I figured he should have a 10.0 from Ryan. Yeah. I have a 9.8, but again, too, I have a 9.8 that he drew all over. It's remarked, right? Like we have a remark with like everybody drew all over it and signed it and everything else. It's not a 9.6, it's a 9.8, right? There's a lot of 9.8s that are signed.
somebody posted, and I know it's fake, but it was hilarious. And they put it from Times Weekly. CGC is now CGC Human Feces. Yo, I was dying, bro. But it looks like a legit fucking a post from fucking
Yeah.
No, not from
The
Times. From Times.
Yeah.
Bro. And at the end it says CGC will grade your shit.
Grade your shit.
Yeah, I was dying, bro. I was like, you're just going
Did
in.
they end up selling those books?
Which ones?
The Ghost Rider and the...
Hell
I
yeah.
heard they didn't...
And they were supposed to have 2 lines. I want to know what happened with those 2 lines. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, how are you going to know who's an influencer?
Yeah.
Are you an influencer? Am I an influencer?
I guess I'm an
I'm a
influencer.
dealer, but aren't you an
I have a
influencer?
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, how are
Yeah.
you? Yeah. How do you? Yeah,
But how do I determine? I mean, I have a YouTube channel too. I haven't put anything up on it yet.
And,
But I do
unless they
one.
have
I
a
have
certain,
store,
you
right?
have to
Like,
have a certain amount of followers.
But how are they? Who's
I don't
doing
know.
the checking on all
They're
this?
the ones
do,
that
like.
determine.
Okay, in another note, Read Expo does. They're the ones that do New York Comic Con, right? But with New York Comic Con, to get the press pass and stuff, yes, you send in an application and they look at it, right? Like if they don't look at it, it's on them. But like legitimately, they're supposed to. You apply, you know, like there's an application process. But like for me to go stand online at a show, how do they know who I am or what I am, right? Like you can show your channel. You have
It's like
tons
you go
of
from
YouTube
bad to
videos
worse.
this weekend. So how do you know?
Well, yeah, let's make the situation worse.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
Like I don't blame CGC for grading them or anything. It's just that to me, in my mind, they should have been a little bit better understood that these are not. That's not how the book was created. I
They,
mean?
Right.
they came out and said that they're making new rules for these fucking types of books, and they're called collectible. I forgot what the exact
Oh,
fucking
because
way
it's
they
a
know.
collectible, right?
Yeah,
it is.
but-
It's something that
yeah,
we
but
designed
now all of a
and made
sudden-
50
You give
of.
it a doodoo brown
Yeah,
label.
now all of a sudden they're doing it. It's just weird, bro.
That's the other thing. Is it going to have its own label then? From now
Uh-huh.
on?
I mean, this was eventually gonna happen, and it just happened to happen now.
Now and at the con.
You know what I mean? And they knew it was gonna happen eventually.
But as far as like the other part of it, like actually, I think that the company is going to get sued by Marvel because they did not. It's like in the contract that you don't do that, right?
Right.
So that's yeah.
And
but-
Marvel hasn't come out.
and said they're suing.
They haven't said anything really.
I mean, do they care either? Who cares? Like, I mean, honestly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they.
It'll be something if they make a statement.
Yeah.
But if they just let it fade away, it'll just fade away. And I'm sure anybody else that comes again, they'll be like,
I
all right.
mean, they have precedent, right? That's the other thing. There's probably not real precedent. What are you showing Marvel's statement?
No. The-
The article.
But it looks so legit, though, bro. It's from New York Times. But they even got the fucking menus and everything on top.
The other thing is the CDC is doing a lot right? And that's what people are just like, they're harping on one comic.
Doesn't that look like
You know what I mean? That doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, right? So the other thing is that they're gonna, I think, ultimately expand to grade everything. They grade Magic.
They've already
and Yu-Gi-Oh
announced that.
cards. So
Yeah.
they're going to be grading video games, which
Yeah.
is cool. And somebody said, you know, that whole industry is under fire for their graded stuff. But again, that's not CGC. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you guys know better
I
than
mean,
me on like.
This wouldn't have been such a huge problem if it wasn't done in front of people. You know what I mean? Like, if he was selling it online, and then this
Yeah.
problem came up,
Yeah.
then it'd be a little bit. But the
Have-
fact that it was done at a con,
I have a feeling
in front
that
of
this has
people.
been done before.
Yeah.
We just haven't
We
seen
haven't
it.
seen it.
But since it was brought to light, and all these fucking dudes cut the line and they started selling an $85 book for $300, it just fucking blew up, and now it's at a fucking another level right now. To the point that those YouTubers, all of a sudden, at the beginning, they were like, "Yo, I'm not there. I wasn't there. I didn't buy that." And then you find out later, yeah. And that dude, that main guy at that Comic Town, which is the most
he hasn't
popular
said a
of all-
word about it.
He did.
When did he say it?
When it first happened, he said, "My family's sick. I am not at the show." He was at the show. Later on, he fucking posted, "Listen, I just want to let everybody know, I'm gonna come clean. I was there, but
Wow.
I didn't buy all of those." That's what he said. No, you're right. You didn't
Wow.
buy
You
it.
probably had video of him
You-
there, right?
but, yeah,
Can't say you
That's
weren't
what I'm
there
saying.
for
All
work.
these people said he was there. Like, they had one person online. He said, "Listen, when I got to the line, I was number 10. I turned around. Jament, Nerdy Girl, Comic Town were all behind me. I looked in front of me. I looked 5 minutes. I looked around. They weren't back there no more. All of a sudden, they were on the front of the line picking up all their shit."
Wow.
But the other thing is, it begs the question too about the way that the company decided to distribute them because. it
Oh,
wasn't-
yeah. The company's shady as shit, bro. They shouldn't have done. I mean, that shit happens all the time. Every con, they're
Hey.
giving these people their books.
You got to wonder now too if they're going to be allowed to continue to do business with Marvel. That's the
Oh,
other part.
well,
right?
yeah.
I'm sure Marvel's already sent them a message.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty
Do
sure.
we have any information with that? I mean, 'cause that's another whole nother.
I
They're
don't
not
know.
gonna release that.
I tell you
information.
what, there's a bunch of these stores that are fucking around with these people. There's like what Sanctum Sanctorum was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we got some old fucking exclusives.
Me too. That's what I was gonna say, we're gonna make
gonna
them
start
3D.
throwing some shit."
Make them
But
3D,
everybody's saying it
right?
now. I'm like, "Oh, if they're doing it, why can't we do it?"
So I was wondering why can't I can't.
We have a lot of unsold shit. Let's
Yeah.
throw some shit on it.
Yeah.
Here's a new fucking
Oh.
exclusive.
Well, the other problem with the cover itself too, what I had heard, and I don't know how true this is. You guys will have to answer this. I'll have to look. I didn't look too much into it. Let's put it that way. But I'm a busy person. So the acetate cover itself was also incorrect in that the way that the flag was folded, and then the
So the flag,
stripes.
yeah. So
What
people,
about the stripes on the flag itself on
Mhm.
the back of the book?
yeah. So
Not
there's
right.
there's a lot of fucking military people pissed about that. Then in the back, they changed the wording
What does it say?
It says it's supposed to say "In God We Trust," and it says "In God in Trust." Some
In
shit
God.
like that.
Yeah, something.
Entrusted.
Entrust we God or something like
It's
that.
something like that. So like again, a lot of the military people that are into comics, they're like, how would you how do you fuck up and do some shit like that?
Well, it sounds like there's 3 or 4 on the cover, not just one, right? So.
Yeah.
As the world turns and C2E2 continues in our daily lives.
I just want to see what happens in New York Comic Con because there's gonna be
Shit,
some
I just
funny
can't
shit,
wait to
bro.
put this particular video out because that was the biggest views we ever got was your 2C2E2
Yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Wow.
200 views out the gate. Boom. And mad comments about it too. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845.